All right, so I just recently purchased the Emberlit Fireant, the titanium. It claims to weigh 2.8 ounces, and I'm just gonna do an unboxing to show you how to put it together and what's kind of all included. So you take the sleeve off and you open the box, you get a little instruction manual right here. It'll show you that you connect the 3 side panels, insert the base plate, and the optional solid fuel tray or sprint burner. So you can, we'll get into those pieces I guess in a sec. And then you connect the one side to the feed panel and gently torque feed panel to connect remaining side. All right, so that was the instructions, and what comes in here is, looks like this is the solid fuel tray. This is the base plate. This is the front piece, and then those are 2 of the side pieces. The other one fell on the ground, and that's right here. And then it looks like it also comes with a little sleeve to put it all in. All right, so I'll demonstrate how to put all this together, but let's see what it weighs out to. All these pieces together once it cooperates with me. All these pieces together weigh 4 whole ounces. So that is a lot over the 2.8 ounces it claims on the front of the box. The little envelope that it comes with to put it in is 0.3 ounces. All the titanium pieces are 3.6 ounces. I guess without the solid fuel piece, it comes out to 3.3 ounces. And without the base plate, see if we can put it together with just these pieces, it comes out to 2.8 ounces. So when it says it's 2.8 ounces on the box, that is not including either of the plates or the packaging. So, all right, we'll put it together, I guess, without these, and then we'll put it together with those. So we'll do it just to show you all the different variations. So to start, it says just put the side panels together, and these are all identical, so it doesn't really matter which order you put it in. Just be conscious of, this. It looks like it's kind of stamped, in one direction, and try to keep all the stampings in the same direction, whether they're on the facing inwards or outwards. All right, so that's all going pretty well together. And before this, I actually had the bush box, which was the steel bush box, and that thing was a lot heavier than I wanted. It weighed almost a pound, and I didn't see see it really being warranted to bring along other than rather than a propane stove, because I mean, with that weight, what's the point? Just bring a stove. All right, so that's all together. That went together pretty well. And the other problem I had with the bush box was once you put it together, you couldn't take it apart unless you use like a hammer to get it apart. It was really solid once you had it, but I returned it because I wasn't able to take it apart unless I hammered it apart. But this, however, came together really well. The seams are really tight. There's ventilation on all sides, and an okay size hole to feed twigs into. This is it without either of the plates, and it kind of moves around a little bit, but other than that, this is pretty sturdy. It's not going to fall apart on you. And I would not use this as a a floor section to this, and I would definitely, if you're going to use this method, do this on the dirt, so that way you don't have to worry about anything catching on fire around it. Clear some space of some dirt, and you're good to go. I want to see if this will hold my cooking system. If it, because some of these stoves come with like little crossbars for for your pots, so they can fit on top. But this one looks pretty small. We'll see if it needs it or not. So this is my Vulcan 900 millimeter titanium pot. This thing is amazing. It weighs almost nothing, and that easily fits on top of the stove with room. Now, why don't we just try my titanium cup as well. This is my Toaks titanium cup. Wow, and that actually, you know, is on there pretty well too. I would be very careful not to move it too much. There is some room to, you know, move it, but if you bump it, this thing's probably gonna go over. Like that. All right, so that all works, which is great. Now let's try putting it together with the base plates. All right, so disassembly, just start this the way that you finished off putting it together. And that came apart really easily and really quick. That was, you know, as soon as you got one undone, it came apart. So that was actually really nice compared to what I was used to with the bush box. All right, so just like we did, and there's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, it seems like, with this. But the more you do it, the faster you'll get. And this will just, setup will be a breeze, I'm sure. All right, so let's start with the base plate. And it looks like the flat end will face out towards the front of the stove, or at least that's how I'll do it, because there's little, you know, inlets for, you know, that on any direction. It looks like this has a slot for it, and so do all the sides. But just to be consistent, I'm going to use the 3 little inlets on the sides of the stove and just leave this one blank for the front, not supported on the front. All right, so just like that. Don't fall apart. All right. As soon as I put one side together, the other falls off. See if we can't get it on at the same time. That's always, you know, kind of the penalty of these. They can be a little tricky to put together, but, you know, practice makes perfect. And there you go, it's together. And that is a lot more sturdy. See, it's not moving at all with the base plate. It really keeps it in place. That's really nice. So this is definitely the way to go. And you can even probably, if you're gonna do this in a lean-to or something, put your mat underneath it. I don't know if it's fire resistant or not, or heat proof, but I'll try that out when I'm out camping and show you guys if, you know, if this is worth to do, because this would be nice if it is. You know, it wouldn't, you know, burn the bottom of the lean-to or anything like that. And the weight of this, I guess without that fuel plate, is 3.3. And then I'll show you with the fuel plate. You can go, it looks like in either direction, that side or this side. I'm gonna put it sideways just because I feel like it'll be easier to set up. Of course, the more components that you're trying to put together, the harder it's gonna be to put together. So let's see if we can do this and how easy it is. So far, regardless, this is a lot easier than the bush box. All right, I'm just gonna put it down and see if I can get these in at the same time. Come on now, there you go. That actually really helped, putting it down and just using both your hands to, you know, usher those in. And that is solid. You can put your little fuel canister, solid fuel canister right there, so it's close to the top of the stove, and you're good to go. That is awesome. And again, that weighs 3.6 ounces. All right, and so the whole teardown on this is just to open it up like that, and then slide this piece out, and then it all just falls apart, which is awesome how easily it comes apart with you know, just undoing one corner of it. And to slip it in, so I'm gonna leave that piece out because I am not gonna use solid fuel, but just to put it in the sleeve, it's nice and easy. And this is what I'm gonna bring along, and so that's gonna be 3.7 ounces. Awesome. This looks like an awesome little stove. And stay tuned, because I'm gonna show you how to put it together and use it out in the field. All right, so we're out here in the field, and I'm gonna try to put the get a flame going inside the stove. I've never used a twig stove before, so this is my first attempt, and we're gonna see if we can make it work. It's been raining here in New York for probably the last couple of days, and it just stopped raining and things are starting to dry up a little bit. So I'm gonna use the flint and steel, and I created a tinder bundle full of just some dead grass and some pine needles that I found. They're a little damp, so it might have some trouble catching, but we'll give it a shot. So let me try with the flint and steel. I'm gonna take out the char cloth. It's a pretty fine piece. Let's see. Just for this, I'm gonna take 2 pieces out. Take them, put them together like that. Find your flint rock, and then find a sharp edge on it. I think I'll try right there. There we go. Got a little spark on there. Put it right in there. There we go, and it's going. So now we're just gonna try and put it in there somehow. Hopefully I don't smother it. There we go. Got it going. And I'm just gonna try to feed some twigs into it now. Try and get it all lit. Keep it aerated as much as you can. And what I put in here before was, before I put my tinder bundle in there, I had a little bit of birch and just some twigs. So I have a good assortment of just different types of fuel that I picked up on my walk in and right around the camp. And we're just gonna feed these right in the top. And at first it's gonna be, you know, kind of jutting out of the stove, but you wanna get a good burn going and get some coals in the bottom before you feed your bigger sticks in. One thing I have that I'll use is a little pocket bellow. It's kind of going out a little bit. Might have put too much in there. At first, we'll put a little more birch in. Put more twigs. Start feeding them from down here now. Looks like it's starting to catch. There's a little more pine needles. Just start off really small. Keep feeding those kind of in. You don't need the pocket bellow. I mean, I'm just using it to keep my face out of frame, but just keep feeding some twigs, and it's really hot on the inside, so that's a good sign. Try to get some twigs going on the down near the bottom. And it looks like it'll take a little bit for this thing to get, you know, rolling, but you got to pay a lot of attention to it, it looks like. At least at first. So that wasn't too bad. come back in a little bit and I'll show you once they start feeding some larger twigs into it. But I'm going to keep doing this probably for a couple of minutes just until I establish some coals in there. Alright, so we got it going a little bit now, and I was able to start feeding some, larger split twigs into it. I noticed I did need to keep, kind of feeding it with birch just to, keep a good fire going. And when you put them through this little vent, which is kind of small, they burn pretty quick, so you gotta be very attentive with it. I'm gonna try to boil some water on top of it and see how that works. It's pretty full, but we'll see if we can get a boil going. And I'm doing this in really high wind, which doesn't help. You might have some better, you might have a better situation where there's less wind. Sometimes it can help you because it gives some air to the oxygen to the fire, which will get it burning a little bit faster. But you're dealing with twigs, so it's going to be tough to, you have to pay a lot of close attention to, refueling it. But that's about it. I cut, these twigs in half. I could probably do quarters, but yep, just keep, pushing them gently in, and you'll get a good fire going on the inside. And it holds it pretty well. The tin pot that I have, this is the Falcon, I think, tin pot, titanium pot, and it works really well. It looks like with this system, it's heating up pretty good. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes and let you guys know how long it takes for this thing to reach a boil. Alright, so it's been about 10 minutes and we've been feeding some twigs into it, but also refueling it with some birch, and it's still burning pretty good. And as you can see, it's coming to a pretty good boil over there. So not too bad for a liter of water and about 10 minutes in this little titanium stove with a titanium pot. So all in all, yeah, I would definitely, have this in my pack and use this in case I don't have a fire, or don't want to bring like my mini mow or MSR propane burner. Pretty easy to set up, and looks like it's burning pretty well. Once you get it going with some bigger sticks and you have to kind of push them in, I would say if you're going to push them in, to have something to support your pot, because it got close to where this almost fell over. And just when you're pushing them in, because it'll, rock off balance. I don't have this on the flattest platform either, but yeah, looks like it works at least. And in 10 minutes, it's got a raging boil, so that's good to see. And yeah, pretty good stove.